All right, welcome into another fabulous episode of The Movie Assassins. Wait, that's wrong.
Wait, no. Not assassins yet. Just killers.
We're
not
movie
professionals
killers.
yet. Right. But, yes, welcome to Movie Killers. This is Blake.
This is Tom.
And tonight we are going to do Iron Man 3.
Okay. And then after this, are we going to be doing Iron Lady?
Is it the one about the Queen of England or something?
Yeah, Meryl Streep. I'm not
wait,
sure
that's
how
not
much
Tony
armor
Stark.
is in there.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll check it out. We'll see. Maybe we can make a connection there.
All right.
But Iron Man... But yeah, we're going to be doing Iron Man 3 tonight. And that will conclude the Iron Man trilogy. This does happen after Avengers.
Yeah, the first Avengers, but it's not post the second Avengers, which is important information to have.
Indeed. So, without further ado, let's jump into Iron Man 3. All right, so Tom, tell me, what do you think is the biggest blaring plot hole of Iron Man 3? The one that's going to just kill the plot, prevent all of this from happening?
Okay, to me, it is the House Party Initiative.
House Party
and
Protocol.
Him not initiating the House Party Protocol right after giving, all of his home information to the Mandarin. If those robots had been out there, they would have been patrolling. They would have destroyed that helicopter. They would have killed the guy with the extremists. They would have ID'd the guy with the extremists. They would have been able to getting blown up. Him having to go all the way to, Tennessee. All of that nonsense could have been avoided.
You know, what's funny is the YouTuber How It Should Have Ended, who makes animated How It Should Have Ended endings and alternate ways where movies can go, said the same thing pretty much. That, oh wait, I just told a terrorist where I am. House Party Initiative, and then that's how it should have been.
And then there's what I like to call the House Party Initiative Redux.
Redux, huh?
Yes. Is why did they need to wait for the building crew to clear the doorway when there was clearly at least one construction-based Iron Man suit in that bunker? He could have initiated it anytime he wanted, obviously via phone call because they can go to the helmets. So he could have called Jarvis, said, have any of the ones with drills on the arms, or,
There was one that had two, not necessarily drills, but like hydraulic impact spikes. Yeah, jackhammers, essentially. That's the best way to look at it.
Could have broken out of that.
I think maybe originally there was so much rubble on top of the doors that if they had tried to open it, it would have caved in and the suits would have been stuck. I doubt that. Yeah. I believe more of you on that one. However, I came across one that happens in the very beginning of the movie. Shortly after the Eiffel 65 opening for the year 1999.
Burn.
Yeah. When Killian asks to talk with Tony and turns out I'll meet you on the roof in a couple of minutes. He never showed up because it's Tony being drunk, going to get a girl, and then finding out research and science. But Killian was up there the whole time, and this made him bitter and resentful. And
yeah, he was up there like an hour or two. Yeah.
Put him along that darker path. And the question is, if Tony had just gone up there, would this had even happened?
I'm not sure that's a plot hole. I think that's more a speculation, really. What if Tony had gone up there?
Yeah, that's true. More of a speculation, I guess.
It's more speculative than anything else, in my opinion. But if he had gone up there just to shut him up and say, "Hey, not interested," but no, he stroked the guy on like he likes to do.
Yep. All right. I can go with that being more speculation. I do have another one, and the main piece of armor in this movie is the Mark 42. That can tear apart little pieces, fly around, and reconnect. Correct.
Yes.
Which is a way, actually, a nod to the actual extremist armor in the comics.
Yeah.
Not entirely, but a bit more realistic. How can those pieces have extended flight? Because there's only one arc reactor on the chest piece, minor one. And, okay, the gauntlets, the boots, sure. But the place plate, the helmet pieces, would only have a short distance, I would see. What do you think?
I think as long as the suit is fully charged, he made sure that it had enough energy when fully, at least mostly charged, for sustained flight 360 degrees around the Earth. That's all he ever had to do, because he knew that there's no way he didn't even have to do 360, 180 degrees around the Earth, because that's as far as it's ever going to be.
That's some pretty impressive power cells.
The man made an arc reactor.
Yeah, I know.
But and so now with these suits having even maybe the tiniest, bittiest little arc reactor just to power their sustained flight to get to him, everything else runs off the chest reactor and recharges, much like the alternator in a car.
Which that leads to a problem later in the movie, actually. But
Always.
I'll jump down to the minor plot holes because it didn't really kill the movie. It just delayed the movie a bit.
How about the fact that he built an arc reactor for every single suit in the house party protocol?
Yes, he did. Every suit had a secondary reactor. One that, if linked up with his, would have more power output. Otherwise, the suit could function for roads or pots if need be.
And how is it he came up with all these suits and he never had the idea for stealth? He had to be told by a 9-year-old kid, you should build a stealth suit.
Well, there was one suit that did look like the stealth model.
But it wasn't because he's like, wow, yeah, I should build one of those.
Maybe it was just a nod to the fact that... Because how many suits did he make in the comics? Over 50 at least.
Over 100.
So...
Pretty much every so often, they just upped and changed the suit.
He just have a new suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it.
I mean, think about it. The original, it went to the silver Mark 1 to the gold Mark 1. I mean, there were 2 Mark 1s.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't even get me started about the old cartoon show in the 90s.
Well, yeah, let's keep TV separate because...
All I'm saying is they have an action figure set that I was looking at buying that was over 100 figures. It was like $200. It was over 100 figures. All of them were Iron Man. Different suits.
Wow, holy moly. That's a lot of
figurines. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, yeah, that's a good action figure collection.
What scale were they?
They were the 6 inches.
Okay.
The old 90s cartoon show.
Like the G.I. Joe stuff.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, cool.
Well, not G.I. Joe, a little bigger.
Yeah, a little bigger than the average smaller G.I. Joe. Not the
I'd say it was your average 5 to 6 inch action figure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, but do you have any other potential major plot holes you can come up with for this? Because
suit I didn't see.
We have some iffy ones here. We're not really having a definite that just kills that plot, I think.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the House Party Initiative one pretty much kills the plot.
Well, the Mandarin would still be at large. Killian wouldn't be there, and that's
not necessarily because they would have seen the explosion in the helicopter. They would have realized that's over 3,000. He would have realized it's the same thing that took Happy out, and then he would have started investigating. But he'd be prepared with multiple suits. Maybe even go, well, now I need something that can deal with a 3,000 degree Kelvin explosion. Time to build a suit. And then he would have had a suit that Aldrich Killian couldn't have messed up every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, throughout that entire fight, how come nobody went supernova at the end?
Oh, at the end?
Aldrich Killian is obviously heating up for a prolonged period of time. How come he didn't explode?
Well, he had the most control over it, but you're right. The other ones, I think, would have eventually lost it and went supernova. But then maybe they just were as skilled as Killian in controlling it.
Well, I'd like to think that trained soldiers have a little more self-control than a scientist who wanted to jump off a building because his man crush turned him down. Call me crazy.
But that's pretty painful if Tony Stark turned you down like that.
Well, I mean, it obviously didn't affect a lot of other people.
Yeah, well.
Of course, then again, how many people are actually getting turned down?
All right, well, here's one that... Because, obviously, S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't around. We know S.H.I.E.L.D. is after Avengers. It's confirmed. Why haven't they been able to pick up where Killian had the Mandarin broadcasting from? That should have been that far out of their reach to pinpoint.
I think after a giant wormhole got opened up into space, minor terrorism got kicked over to the NSA. Or maybe the CIA.
Maybe, but remember,
I feel like this is more of a government issue.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is a very large organization.
AIM was a government contractor. There you go. So it was more an intergovernmental cover-up. They didn't want to say, oh, well, we know it's Aldrich Killian working on his test programs. That's why we're covering it up. That's why the president didn't know.
Yeah, the vice president was in on it. You're right. Okay.
The vice president knew.
But still, the U.S. military, or at least S.H.I.E.L.D., should have been keeping an eye on Tony's house when he declared war on the Mandarin.
Then again,
and you think that someone would have been able to trace them.
It seems to me it was one of those situations where he went to go see Happy in the hospital. He got home. Then Pepper got home. And it was more of a...
It was just very quickly happened.
That could have very well happened within an hour. Especially the way Tony drives.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and he was pissed too, so he was ready to go on. He
Yeah.
said, "We're on alert. What? Why is
You
someone
see,
ringing the doorbell?"
now the question I have is why didn't he try to draw him out to that old storage container thing he had that became the new Avengers base, where there would have been no casualties, plenty of eyesight to see. You would have seen helicopters coming for days away. You could have moved. You could have had literally every suit fly there because I think there's a protocol for that.
He may have been still working on that up until, remember, they were still in the Avengers Tower.
Well, I mean, it was still no. If you look in the movie Ant-Man,
Uh-huh.
they cover that before this became Avengers thing,
The Avengers
it was
base.
just it looked exactly the same, just without the paint job.
Yeah.
So therefore, it was there. He had this big storage unit in the middle of the woods, and I mean, like I said, I believe there's a protocol to have all your suits go to one place at one time. I forget what it's called at this time.
House party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, you call him out there, the middle of the woods. Pepper doesn't get hurt. He takes out the helicopters. He realizes there's an extremist. It could have been a whole different movie that wouldn't have showed Tony Stark constantly running.
Yeah,
This is the midnight run of Iron Man movies.
But that might have been more or less reflecting the PTSD he was going through.
Yeah, he kind of had to suck it up.
He kind of had to learn to deal with it and move on through it. And this was his journey to do that. Now, I'm not saying there's excuse any big plot holes, but that might be why the director went that direction.
And I laugh at the idea is that you have a hero with post-traumatic stress disorder taking on soldiers who were injured in combat.
The irony. Yeah, I didn't catch that irony.
Post-traumatic stress disorder versus the soldier.
Well, the only other point I could think of that could be a major issue was the personnel access to the Iron Patriot, aka War Machine armor. You would think after number 2, with it being hacked by Ivan, that Tony would have overhauled the software to only make sure that him, Rhodes, and Potts would be the only ones able to use the Iron Patriot suit. Because that was one of the key pieces of Killian's plan, to use the Iron Patriot to steal the president.
I hate to say it, but there's a reason for that.
All right, what do you got?
Once Rhodey took it to the military, it's no longer Tony Stark's suit. The Iron Patriot now is either belongs to the American government or to James Rhodes himself. And when Rhodes decided, you know what? You screw up a lot. You start a whole lot of trouble that doesn't need to be started. I'd like to be able to control my own suit.
Maybe.
And then remember, in the first movie, and I know it's different, but Terrence Howard said there is nothing that's better than having pilot control. So
Yes.
therefore, he wants full control of that suit. He wants the driver to have full control because that's the kind of pilot he is.
Yeah, and I agree, and that's fine. But I still think that after the Ivan incident, that the military had been a little more lenient, let Tony secure the software. Still, hey, we still have it, right? Well, yeah, as long as Rhodes is the pilot, I don't care. He knows what to do. He's responsible. But still, I would think the software had been overhauled to prevent what happened. And also, and this kind of dips into the minor that I kind of noticed, was Rhodes was taken down by the female extremist soldier
Yeah.
by a handshake. It was just turned off. What the hell was up with that?
I think computers don't run very well when they get overheated.
It was just a gauntlet, though.
But the gauntlet, it's interconnected. It's a whole suit. It's not like Tony's pick and poke suit that just falls off into pieces. Because if you remember, I mean, his suit falls off when he gets hit. His suits get messed up when they're hit.
Yeah, but Tony, from the very first movie and on, all the suits have been shown to function, even heavily damaged to the point where otherwise they physically cannot because they're so broken.
That's why Rhodey got that suit. It's a Mark II suit.
Maybe, but then it should have been upgraded and overhauled by this point.
No, because it's Rhodey's suit now, or the American government. So Tony Stark's like, yeah, you know what? You got a suit. You got a suit that freezes over if you go too high. You've got a suit that gets damaged if it gets overheated because it's only my Mark II armor.
Yeah, but
let him have it.
I
That's
still
why
want
he
to
gave
think
it
that Tony, for his best friend, would ensure that his suit would have kept him alive and
well,
protected.
Then again, he also got into a fist fight with his best friend during a house party. I'd like to think that maybe Tony's making sure he has subpar armor because he knows it's still better than anyone else is going to have. But he knows that his armor, if it comes toe-to-toe, he'll be able to take Rhodey out without hurting him. He knows, I just got to overheat him. I got to take him either too cold or too hot, and that suit will shut down. And then the fight's over without having to hurt my friend.
That is a fair point, and that could very well...
So he leaves these little flaws in there to defeat.
That could be. I still don't think that'd be in Tony's character to do that to Rhodes, but
You're talking about
it's believable that there could be some, because it is a Mark II suit, or basically it's really the Mark I, because the prototype, even though it really is the Mark I, was more just throw together.
It's the Mark.
Okay, we'll go with Mark II, but essentially it was the first properly manufactured suit that Tony created.
Yeah, but we still consider I still consider the cave suit the Mark I suit.
Yeah, no,
because it's a nod to the comic book.
Yeah, which
Mark
did
I
look
suit.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole thing about that's to me that was the reason in Iron Man 2 when he let Rhodey take the suit, is because he realized, okay, he took my iPod Classic. It's not my iPod Touch.
Yeah,
he took my iPod Classic.
Okay, yeah, I go with that.
So it's like it still has the buttons instead of the spin wheel.
So, do we have a real? Is it just the House Party Protocol is the only real problem with the movie that can destroy the rest of the movie?
How is it? And I feel like this would become information that would be widely known.
Okay.
That the vice president's daughter is missing 2 limbs.
All right.
Okay, so you have to think once Tony Stark. I mean, maybe Tony Stark's not that big into politics. Possible, unlikely for a guy who's been up 72 hours, just sitting around doing, tinkering. You've got to put the news on once in a blue moon. He should have went, okay, so they're rebuilding body parts. The second he saw the video, he should have put, at least went, wait a minute. Government hasn't tried to stop him. The vice president's daughter, obviously some type of traumatic thing because it wasn't a birth defect. Those things were gone.
Yeah, but I assume that happens too late in the movie to really stop the movie.
Oh, I'm not saying to stop. Well, I mean, the only reason they figured out it was the vice president, is when they called the vice president and nothing happened.
Yeah. Afterwards, they realized, wait, where was the backup? It never came. Oh, the vice president's in on this. His daughter. That makes sense.
And
now.
That's one thing that really did irk me is why didn't he just put her in a RoboCop suit? Same guy.
Yeah, it was.
The guy who created...
Yep.
Anyway. But... Okay. But if Killian truly wanted to kill Tony Stark, why didn't he just have a meeting with Tony Stark? How hard would it have been to walk in as Aldrich Killian? Walk just literally right into the office. Just go, walk into his house. Just knock on his door. Hey, it's me, Aldrich from AIM. Remember you left me standing on the roof. Grab him and just melt his freaking head.
Well, I think because I don't think he wanted to kill him throughout most of the movie. It was more or less he wanted to maybe surpass him. But
no, he wanted to recruit him. He wanted him to be a part of AIM, from what I remember.
But he didn't want to kill him. It wasn't until the end where it came down to, you've ruined everything, now I'm going to kill you. It was more or less like...
Okay, then melt his legs off. Melt his arms off. How good does that suit work when there's no body parts in it? Well, obviously pretty well, because he saved 9 people. But Aldrich Killian doesn't know that. But no, it seems to me that just going in there and melting his arms and legs off would have been my... Then again, I'm not as creative as a genius. I would have just walked in, go, oh, hey, melt your hand off. Oh, melt his other arm off. Oh, grab him at the knees. Because the body part gets burned off. The wound is cauterized because of the heat.
Yeah.
So no bleed out. And then, I mean, I don't want Tony Stark for his hands and his feet. I want him for his mind. So, Potato Man will work just fine for what I need.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, I'm sure there's a robot around here with some arms that'll do what you say.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No. Oh, never mind.
But...
Poor Dunce.
But do we really have a solid...
I'm working on
it. That kills it. I mean, because so far we're listing...
The more we talk about it, the more it'll come up to us.
But it's not enough, I think, to really kill the movie. I mean, even the House Party Protocol just changes the pace of the rest of the movie.
Okay, how about this one? When Rhodey's inside the suit, the helmet is on. When Aldrich Killian's about to melt him out and they're hitting him with the stuff.
Yeah.
The helmet's on.
Why didn't
he just fly away? I mean, because obviously there's nothing wrong with the suit because they flew it not an hour later. And
let's jump into some minor plot holes for now because that was something I noticed too.
Okay.
It was besides Rhodes, what about when the president was in the suit, just sitting there hanging around? The suit functions fine.
Yeah, because the Rhodey just got right in it.
Yeah, he's like, get out, I'll fly you back now. So why didn't Rhodey fight back? Like I said before,
why didn't the president just fly off?
Why did the hand touch disable the suit?
Well, all right, I imagine the initial heat caused it to overload and shut off, but it had to reboot.
Well, even then, Killian had the heat to the chest area to force Rhodes to eject from the suit. If it had shut down again with like the handshake, he would not have been able to eject.
I have the stupidest reason in history.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's viable.
All right, what do you got?
Because it is only the, as you put it, Mark 1, I put it, Mark 2 armor.
Yeah, Mark 2, we'll go with that. That's
The
fine.
reboot button was outside of the suit. So when the reboot, the button where, all right, he melted it, the suit shuts off. How do we reboot it? Oh, it's right here on your hip. You got to turn this thing, and these flaps come up, and it releases the heat. Like the same one that released the ice in the first one.
Well, that really didn't release the ice. It just moved all the plates to break the ice so it could get,
Yeah, but those plates lifting could release the heat as well.
Yeah.
And it could be how you access the reboot button. Because that's when Tony's suit came back online.
I guess that's still kind of me. Like
it's the stupidest thing in like I said, this is the stupidest in history, but it makes sense to me. Is he couldn't access the reboot button?
Yeah, I don't know. I really think the Iron Patriot was handled very poorly in this movie because there was just.
You mean worse than War Machine in number 2?
Yeah, even worse than that.
How about War Machine in Civil War?
Actually, no. War Machine in Civil War wasn't bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge plot hole in the middle of.
Well, when we do Civil War, we'll deal with that. But
you didn't get the joke. It's a huge plot hole.
Right
in War Machine.
Oh, I get it. I was trying to keep some spoilers away, but anyways,
dude, that's what this show's about.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Civil War.
Okay.
So. Anyway, so spoilers. The minor ones. I was really going to say something about the CIA or SHIELD identifying Ben Kingsley's character as Trevor, an actor, and not this Mandarin. But then I caught
plastic surgery.
I never noticed that before. That he said, "Oh, they gave me some plastic surgery," which then also means potentially he could still play the real Mandarin because in this movie's extra little like mini movie on the DVD collection and all that, he is approached by his Mandarin's people in prison. He's like, wait, he's real? They're like, yes.
Once again, if anybody from Marvel is listening to this web show, I do want to state that the person I'd like to play the Mandarin, John Barrowman. John Barrowman for all roles. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, John Barrowman, yes. But didn't you say someone else you'd also like to see?
Oh, yeah, Michael Fassbender. Love it.
But he is getting popular.
Oh, yeah, that's the problem, though. But still, could you not see a flamboyant John Barrowman playing the Mandarin?
Well, he wouldn't play it flamboyant.
But I would want him to play it just the way he does it at his panels. Just the way he acts at his panels. That's how I want the Mandarin.
Yeah, but Barrowman he becomes the character, so he would play the Mandarin as the comics Mandarin.
10 rings.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. 10 rings. I mean.
Now there was another minor plot hole. Doesn't really kill the movie, but I noticed with the Mark 42, and you kind of briefly touched upon this, was the recharging.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony is stuck in Tennessee, right? The Mark 42 is down. It needs to recharge, right?
But the battery is damaged.
His arc reactor hooks directly in. It has all the power it needs. He may not be able to remote fly it, but he can still be able to use the suit.
It shut off after it was already open. Remember? He said he's like, I'm going to get back in, and then it shut down.
Hook a cable up to the arc reactor in his chest.
Well, he had to. Well, maybe he didn't have the cable on him.
He could have made one.
With what? He's in the middle of the snow.
Well, not in the snow.
He did. He made it when he got back to the kid's workshop.
No, he used the battery pack and some other equipment to recharge
that suit. Well, yeah, because
he
wanted to investigate while he was there.
But he should have.
He was multitasking.
He could have got that suit up and running a whole lot faster if he had just used his arc reactor.
But obviously, with his post-traumatic stress disorder, he was freaking out a little bit, and he didn't want to.
Yeah, I still think that was.
It's minor.
That was
and
more
arguable, but yeah.
To extend for the climax, not jump into it right away. I think is why they did that. But
yeah. See, to me, it was, if he has all these little, like, did he really give a kid a flashbang?
He did?
He gave a kid a very powerful one at that, because it caught a soldier off guard.
Yeah, but the soldier wasn't expecting a kid to have an advanced weapon like that.
Well, they were Iraq war veterans. You got to expect a kid to have a weapon like that. That's the whole idea. You got to expect the unexpected there.
Some small kid from Tennessee.
And I mean, obviously, but then again, I shouldn't tell this joke, but I'm going to say it anyway. These are the wounded soldiers. If they were expecting it, they wouldn't have been the wounded soldiers.
Oh, sorry guys, but
Yeah,
it is good.
I apologize.
It is
That
good,
it's
though.
just a joke.
But
Calm down.
I'm sure there's some of them are laughing. But
Unclench the cheeks.
Yeah.
All right.
the only other minor plot hole I came across was during the final fight when Tony calls in the house party. All the suits are there, and they're like, "All right, where's my suit?" He's like, "Oh well, they're synced to me." What? You're telling me that Rhodes, who has access to the suit, Jarvis can be like, "Oh, Commander Rhodes, let me give you a suit." At all? No. Once again, I think that was kind of pushing War Machine out of the spotlight when they didn't have to do that.
Yeah. You know, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that it was outdated armor, I would have said, why didn't Tony just put his helmet on and try to take control of the Iron Patriot suit? Bring it back to that boat. But once again, we've got outdated. It probably doesn't have Wi-Fi.
Well, not even that. Jarvis could have gave Rhodes any number of the different suits.
Well, the thing is, Jarvis can't control the Iron Patriot suit because it's running off different software.
No, not the Iron Patriot suit.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Rhodes could have got in any one of the other Mark 1 through...
He tried.
Well, we're going to go from 5 through 41. Because, 1 was the prototype.
I'd like to
2's
think they, like the first 4 did get destroyed.
Yeah. So,
including
6 through...
the briefcase.
So, 6 through 41. Any one of those, Rhodes could have jumped in.
You know what? Even then, I'm sorry, I'm going to say screw it. Any one of those Iron Man suits could have grabbed the briefcase suit for Rhodey.
If it wasn't already
Just
exploded. But still.
Well, I mean, no, it's a briefcase suit. It should...
Well, no, it was actually in a display case in suit mode, not briefcase mode.
Well, they should have... he really should have had more than one briefcase.
But I agree. And that's what I'm saying, is that there was no reason in universe for that Rhodes could have been part of that final battle more in depth.
He could have finished it. He could have gave at least a humorous answer of, well, look what happened the last time.
He could have, but he didn't even do that.
He should have. He should have been snarky and, a quick one-liner of just, look what happened the last suit I gave you. You see, but one of my big issues with Iron Man right now, at least that particular movie, is that I'm still under the belief that Tony Stark is that boy's father. The little boy in the shed. Okay, here's my logic. And I'm going to explain it to you right now. This kid is hyper intelligent for his age. Look at his lab.
Even before Tony overhauled it was still really good.
He rebuilt an Iron Man suit in there.
Even Tony was impressed by his potato gun.
Yeah. So, here's the story. Tony Stark meets his mom. Bangs that kid's mom. Dad finds out a few years later, says, I'm going out for lotto tickets.
It never comes back.
After finding out that Tony Stark is this kid's father. Explains the kid's intelligent, the kid's sense of humor. Well, not really the sense of humor.
You could do that.
Personality.
Granted, it's not necessarily has to be because Marvel has many super brilliant people in its universe. Even Ironheart is not related to Tony Stark, and she built her own Iron Man suit just from seeing his. But
wait, do we have proof that he's not in somehow her father? A whole Bruce Wayne
I haven't
being
read that
Terry
comic.
McGinnis?
I have no idea.
All right, then.
So
you can't really make those statements.
However, did you see Tony's reaction when the one woman from the beginning of the movie came to him and says, he made a joke about...
son?
Yeah, you have a 12-year-old son.
13.
She's like, well, yeah. He's like, he kind of freaked out for a moment.
Yeah.
She's like, no,
that's what gave me the idea. I'm like, that's his kid.
Yeah, okay.
The kid's the right age for when he was a drunken philanderer.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have remembered going to Tennessee because you get some Tennessee moonshine, you ain't gonna remember anything.
Yeah, well.
And he's Tony Stark, he'll nail anything that moves.
So
including a waitress at a diner.
Yeah. But can you think of any other little plot holes? Because I got some general comments about the movie, but any little...
Okay. Why were there only 2 very lazy guards guarding the one guy who could give up your whole plan, the British actor?
Oh, Trevor the Mandarin. By the way, I still think that he made a fantastic Mandarin until the reveal. But even then, he was still awesome.
Oh, yeah. He was a great character. I loved it. And just to go into it...
I love that twist. I know a lot of people didn't like that twist, but I did.
Well, I'm sorry. This movie's meant to entertain. If you're taking it that hardcore to where you're not going to like the whole movie just because Trevor's slattery...
Well, remember, people...
You're not my target audience.
They were waiting to see the extremist Iron Man armor, not his extremist power. Then they find out the Mandarin they're watching is not even the real Mandarin. A lot of people left this movie pissed because it wasn't the comics.
Oh my God. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that when you do a movie or even a TV series based on a printed format, you are given liberties to do certain
Okay.
things differently, and this was a way to give a fresh twist.
Just to cover it here, I have something to bring up on to that aspect while my mind works on more tiny little plot holes.
All right.
There was 2 movies put out, it was not too long ago, definitely within the decade. It was called The Dark Knight Returns 1 and 2. These movies were shot-for-shot remakes of the comic book The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, it was pretty much
With,
with Watchmen. It was like panel for panel,
Okay.
just on the big screen.
I watched it once. I can honestly say, I mean, while it was decent, there's a reason why it wasn't more popular. It was a shot-for-shot remake of the comic book that anybody who's really watching this direct-to-DVD movie, I mean, you already read the comics.
Of course, I remember one other detail about that is that that's where Superman gets his ass kicked by Bruce Wayne, and it's a lot of Superman fans don't like that because their Superman's a god, you can't touch him.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh, that wouldn't work that way. He would just laser him from afar. No, Superman wouldn't laser him from afar unless it was the Red Son of Krypton story.
Here's the thing:
Maybe.
Superman walked in. Anytime Superman walks into a fight, he's not looking to kill.
Exactly. But the
Batman
was
was finally
being
willing
is that's
to.
one of the reasons why that's not as accepted as, say, like Watchmen. That was practically panel for panel.
Well, no, they made some minor differences. They did change the story up a little bit, and I liked it, and that's why it was more popular. That's why it got a theatrical release and not straight to DVD.
Yeah, I still felt that the change kind of should have affected the community differently, but that's a different movie.
Well, you know, even the comic book creator didn't like that. So
yeah. But anyways, I mean,
okay, tiny little plot holes. Explain to me why Tony Stark does not travel with a debit card, at least in the suit.
Well, you have to assume he had some money because he bought a lot of stuff at the hardware store.
Oh, he took the kid's money. I'm not afraid to admit that he stole that kid's money. But, I mean, all right, he's sitting there. He doesn't have a coat. He doesn't have clothes. He's in front of a gas station. He doesn't even call a cab.
Oh,
he just drags the Iron Man
for our
suit
younger
around.
audience members, that thing he went inside to make a phone call is called a phone booth.
Not the TARDIS.
Yeah, and it used to be quite prevalent before cell phones were around. But
yes, it used to be a very handy item for making phone calls, urination, getting out of the cold, kissing your girlfriend for prolonged periods of time while people waited in long lines, and other of the such.
indeed.
Okay, now, another big Iron Man flaw is if he can leave messages in Iron Man helmets.
Well, it was a secure server that was on he could access the network with the helmets.
How did the helmet had enough power to turn on? Jarvis gave it to her. You know, it's a message from Tony Stark. Helmet just turns on for no reason. I love it. Why could he not leave a single message for Jarvis? Hey, without alerting anybody, I need you to send me the repair kit, the mobile repair kit for the Iron Man armor, or a second suit of armor to come exchange out for this armor. Send 2 suits, one to take this suit back, one to drop off. I'll take the samurai version if I can get it.
Easy answer. The suits were still not able to get out of the chamber.
Well, they had the construction suit.
Just saying. The other answer is most of his equipment is at the bottom of the ocean.
All of his equipment in California. Are we forgetting about a certain tower?
Yes.
In New York City, East Coast. A little closer to Tennessee,
Stark
too, if I'm
Tower.
not.
Would have, could have. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Because even though Stark Tower was damaged, it was still being rebuilt and functional. Because, I mean, heck, the end credit scene is him talking with Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So, you're right. He could have probably gotten something from there.
If you're telling me he put all his eggs in that one basket,
Apparently he did a lot in this case.
BS. I'm gonna call BS.
This happened a lot in this movie.
All right.
Actually, in a lot of Iron Man movies, this happened a lot.
See, and then this is the one that did. I mean, this is another minor one, but
All
if
right.
I feel like I'm dealing with super soldiers at any time. Well, okay. If I feel like I'm dealing with something electronic or electrical issues with a small electronic device, who do I call? I call you, don't I? Because
Yes.
you have
I'm
experience.
sorry, I was so tempted to say Ghostbusters just then.
No. I call somebody with electrical engineering knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm dealing with super-powered soldiers, who do you think I would give a ring to?
If it was you,
I'd probably
you'd
call it a super soldier of some kind. If only Tony Stark knew of at least one super soldier. Jeez, Thor.
No, he was more
he led an army.
more theatrical. I think maybe.
All I'm saying is,
I think maybe a certain captain.
Captain Deadpool.
No.
He was a super soldier.
And now we're at Deadpool somehow just interrupt this podcast.
Oh, hello.
Captain Deadpool. Yeah, no.
You're right. He could have called him back up, but remember with the standalone movies, they try to keep the other characters out.
Yeah, because that's what I loved about Captain America: Civil War again.
Well, Civil War
like to keep them apart.
It was a quasi Avengers 2.5
you know,
in my opinion. But the point being was, and actually I know some of your points, and I realized something. They wanted to show Tony and his ingenuity at its finest by him not getting another suit, by him not getting help, by him just going to the store and showing, this is a guy who built an arc reactor in a cave. He made weapons to fight while his other suit was getting ready.
That's something else that irks me. A guy built an entire suit in a cave. He's got an entire hardware store at his disposal. He comes up with the electric shock glove and the exploding Christmas ornament.
He had a couple of different gadgets, but still, I see your point.
Oh, and the nail gun that acts as a nail gun does.
Yeah.
It can shoot people and hurt very badly if not killed.
Yeah, but still,
Which means Tony Stark just killed a bunch of people after saying he's tired of killing people.
Yeah, of course, he could have on his entire trip from Tennessee to Florida could have got a gun. But
any gun show.
Not
straight up any gun show.
Any gun show, any gun store, he could have got one.
Not gun store.
Why not?
You can't tell me that Tony Stark has never been arrested for a felony?
Oh, never mind. You're right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
But he goes to a gun show with...
Well, he would have actually, because he works with weapons, he would have got...
One call to Jarvis. I know.
Either way, he could have got that off his record and got to his gun rights back if he did lose them. But still, the point being is that you're right. He could have done better than what they showed, but that's why they did. They want to show his ingenuity.
For those of you who want to try to argue the point, there's an entire scene where he proves to be very proficient with handguns. More proficient than anybody I've ever seen. He's flying around with a boot in one air, an Uzi in one hand, and he's just putting people down.
Yes, he was.
You ever tried to fire an Uzi? Ain't that easy.
No, any rapid fire weapon like that.
But then again, I mean, compared to a hand cannon, everything, literal hand cannon.
Yeah.
It's gonna, we're not talking a Desert Eagle here.
Yeah, but, I mean, really, I can't think of anything that really kills the movie. Because, alright, you meet Killian on the roof back in 1999. He could still go down this dark path. Did you get something?
If they had just waited. I realized something. They could have avoided a whole lot of trouble if, they're at the boat. They see the president strung up.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Jarvis. He's still got the headset on, so you know he can. Get a hold of Jarvis. Hold the suit back. I need one suit to run interception. Grab the president. Fly by.
And then Rhodes would have had his
Rhodes would have had his suit after that suit dropped
and Jarvis could have dropped off the president.
Yep. The other suit flies in, grabs Pepper. It's not like they couldn't have found her.
You're right. He could have handled that more
with
tactically
a little more patience
and strategy.
Instead of just trying to go toe-to-toe with super soldiers.
And even Tony not figuring out, Rhodes should have come up with something like that.
And then the last and final one. Once they have the suits, don't fight. Send 2 suits straight down the middle of that ship. Top to bottom. Sink it.
Oh.
Extremist doesn't work too well when you're running hot underwater. Kind of quenches your thirst there. I mean, they can't die, but I'm sure they can drown.
I mean, that doesn't really kill the entire movie, but it does kill the final fight scene. But you are right. The final fight scene didn't have to happen.
Yeah. They could have literally avoided that entire final fight scene. Literally just waiting. Just everybody drowns. The end. Because I know you're super soldiers, but you're out there in the middle of the ocean.
Well, even by then, you could have S.H.I.E.L.D. step in. Especially
they could have stood there. Hand cannons.
Especially when all of a sudden Rhodes is like, wait, where's backup from the U.S. military?
And then to me, what would have been the best way to end it?
All right.
Was, I'm not going to send my suits to fight these guys. Okay? You know what I would do? I would get Pepper out. I'd get the president out. I'd stand there on the ship, just nice guy, and just go, okay, you know what, Jarvis? Suit everyone else up. All right? Now, clean slate.
Oh, like you did with Killian.
Yeah, put the suit, no, Pepper. Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, wrap the suit around him, clean slate. All blow up at the same time. Wrap the suit around the other soldiers, the super soldiers, and then blow them up. At the very least, that would have slowed him down a whole lot more than just having the suits fight him.
Okay, so it's fair to say that the final battle could have been handled a whole lot better.
And then the third option.
Oh, you got another option of the final battle. Okay, well what do you got?
Wrap the suits around the super soldiers and fly them as far away as humanly possible.
All right. They'll eventually try to melt through the suit.
Yeah, but by then, how far will they be? How fast will one of those suits go? Suit wraps around you, takes off into space.
Yeah, it goes straight up. You can take them into higher upper atmospheres.
And then they're getting cold, so they can't melt out.
And they're also less oxygen, so they're not going to regenerate as well.
And then the suit releases them into space and comes back down. You just handled your extremist problem like a pro.
But is that really something Tony would do? As
opposed to shoot them in the head with a nail gun?
Yeah, that's true. He was no stranger to killing. So.
I know he takes care of his suits. He would never blow up a suit.
Not at all. Not like a clean slate protocol.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying. I mean, there are that is 3 different theories for how that fight could have gone. At the very least, then, if he had just grabbed every soldier but Killian, launched him into space, launched him underwater, got them as far away from him, and then had the suits come back.
Actually, just grab a suit around each of the soldiers, submerge them as deep as possible. Even if they melt through the suit, they're going to run oxygen before they get up, and they're going to suffocate and die.
So
drown.
Either space or water. Either way, you got an option.
You're not Wolverine or Deadpool. You can't regenerate from drowning like they can.
And then you save 3 suits. Just 3. Your 3 strongest suits. Your construction suit, the one that lifted the thing,
Igor.
all of those. Yeah.
Igor.
The 3 toughest suits. And then just have the suits and Iron Patriot just start kicking the tits off of freaking Killian. Leave him right on the boat.
They'd have to make it where he was actually giving a decent fight back to make that a decent, worthwhile scene to watch.
That's the thing. Is I feel like that shouldn't be needed anymore. You're in an Iron Man movie. Watching 4 mentally controlled, Jarvis-controlled robots just kicking the hell out of Killian, breaking his leg, putting him back in the crutches and everything.
Yep.
I think people would have applauded that.
Yeah, maybe, but...
And then Pepper comes out and goes, I've got all these powers. I got a plan for that. What? I solved this, 10 years ago. 15 years ago.
In a drunken state.
Yeah, when I was drunk. I'm sober now. But till then, here's a suit to help you control your abilities. It's not powered by an arc reactor. It's powered by your excess extremis heat.
And then we get the rescue armor.
Yep.
Which I do want to see.
I'm telling you, that's my dream Iron Man movie right there.
Well, did they mention in epilogue that he cured Potts or not?
He said he could. He said, it's I pretty much figured this out when I was drunk.
I'll cure you, and then he got the shrapnel removed, so the arc reactor came out of his chest, and he didn't have it anymore. So, yeah, okay. Yeah. But aside from the minor stuff, I still don't think we found a major killing plot
What's this kid going to do about his bullies now?
Well, he has a whole lab, and he knows how to take care of himself.
No, he doesn't. He said, to deter bullying, and he gave him that thing, and then the kid uses it on him. So he pretty much got gypped out of the deal. He gave the guy a sandwich.
But he may have given the kid more confidence on how to stand up for himself. It really is
don't give me that moral grounds. They made a contract deal. Give me a sandwich. What else did he need? I remember he said he wanted a sandwich.
I'm pretty sure it was a sandwich and a watch.
A sandwich, a digital watch.
He replaced the watch, too.
Yeah, he replaced the watch, but... He never gave the kid the kid had to use it on Tony Stark's enemy, not his bully.
He gave him a new improved.
He got gypped.
He did not get gypped. That kid got hooked up.
No, that kid got gypped.
That kid got a lab that college students get to play with.
Yeah. Okay. So now, is that going to make him more or less impressive to his bullies who are picking on him for being a nerd? Other than the Mustang.
Bullies are all how you handle them.
No, I'm slightly scared that now a 12-year-old?
I think he was around 12.
10 to 12, now is a Mustang. a fully working, operational,
Well, yeah, Tony.
64 and a half at least Mustang.
That was a nice looking Mustang too.
Yeah. Now it's
I'm not even a car person. I was like, that does.
Whose name's on that title? When you buy a car, you gotta put a name. It's like Tony Stark just gave me a Mustang. Wait a minute, he didn't sign the seller. Fuck you, Stark. Still his car. It's just sitting in Tennessee if he gets stuck there again.
Maybe that actually might be why the car's there.
And the lab.
Yeah, but no. I mean, that's. Okay, is there really? Does this movie not have a major gaping plot hole? Because all the points we've made, we've kind of debunked, and the movie still goes on.
Okay, all right. Did you see the one shot? What was it? Hail to the King?
Yeah,
the one that shows the.
Or Ben Kingsley in jail. Trevor's in jail and he gets
Yeah.
approached by the Mandarin's people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you remember seeing what he looked like in the 80s? You're telling me one person didn't recognize Trevor Slattery? Remember he talked about doing a show in the 80s and then they actually showed a little clip from the show in the 80s?
Oh, did they actually,
With a monkey where he was a cop?
did they actually show the clip and it looked like him?
Yeah, look, just
Well, he's supposed to
To
have
the
gotten plastic surgery where he didn't look like Trevor anymore.
But not here. I'll pull
Hold
it
on.
up. I'll
yeah.
pull it up for you.
because
You're telling me not one producer went, holy shit, that's Trevor Slattery.
Or his agent. Still.
Yeah, well, I mean, I imagine he didn't have an agent after his,
I don't know, man. I still think that the plastic surgery would actually cover the basis of him being recognized by anyone that would have known him. Because that was the whole point. We need to put you on live TV in front of everyone and not be recognized and to have them think that you are this Mandarin that we've quote unquote created.
yeah.
Even though they did not. And the Mandarin actually had him killed originally, but then decided not to.
I'm gonna try to look at it. Yeah. I'm trying to find it here.
Just pull up the All Hail the King clip.
Oh.
That's what it was called, right? Hail the
Yeah,
King?
All Hail the King.
All Hail the King.
Okay, there's a picture of it from the All Hail the King that showed the background. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's clearly Trevor Slattery. Caged Heat was the name of the show.
Was it a Dark World? Wasn't this one, was it?
It's All Hail the King. Hail the King.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think it was actually on this movie. It was on the Thor one.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see that one shot where, like you said, it was him in the background.
Clearly Trevor Slattery.
All right. Well, looking at the clip of Caged Heat, and I do remember that now.
Yeah.
I still think that his appearance in that would be too different than how he looks as the Mandarin.
He shaved his head, but he still had the
Well,
mustache.
he had a far darker skin as the Mandarin. And
Oh,
of
so
course,
that was the.
well, darker skin.
So that was the.
his facial looked different. His structure. It was enough
All
that.
I'm saying is, if all they did was give him a tan, that was some shitty.
Well, it was
plastic
more than just a
surgery.
tan, but still, I can see your point. But I think that in universe, it was enough
And
that
I want to know which one's idea it was to put the Iron Man shield on the back of his neck.
I think it was a cap.
There we go. Caged Heat video.
It's all right.
I do misquote, but still.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, but still, I mean that could still be said. Well, he had enough surgery to where his former agent didn't recognize him, his old producer didn't recognize him, no one recognized him, or maybe Russian politics didn't care.
All right, but you know what? There's got to be one TV nerd. There's got to be one guy who watched that show hardcore, goes to the TV cons,
But no one's
and
gonna
realized
listen to this guy.
That's Trevor Slattery.
His crazy fan theory that the Mandarin is Trevor Slattery.
Somebody's got to be listening to it. Natasha Romanoff's listening to it.
I'm just saying.
Somebody.
It's not enough to kill the movie because it's too.
Because I feel like that would have been a Hawkeye job.
I was hoping
That
would
have been the perfect role for Hawkeye. Would just be wait a minute. It's the guy from Caged Heat. What? Yeah, it was a shitty 80s TV show
love
about
the
a Russian cop.
Yeah, that would be, but I still
How do
think
you
that
know that?
I still think the bases were covered, and there's really nothing that stops the movie from progressing.
Other than the one thing we came up with, so there is one.
Which one is that again? Just
Oh.
to review.
Oh, just to review, the big plot hole being that the house party protocol could have been initiated before the Mandarin attacked. Thus, you wouldn't have had the Mandarin attacks. They never would have got Pepper. They never would have got the president because Iron Man would have still been active at the time and not hiding. See, they were prepared for War Machine. They were not prepared for
All right.
Iron Man.
I will go with that. I will say that indeed the house party protocol is the pivotal moment that if it had been used when it should have been used, it would have deviated the movie so much it would have been a completely different movie.
And probably would have stopped the overall Pepper becoming an extremist or anything like that.
But I'll go with that. I think that is really the only plot killing moment. And of
at
course,
least they had one.
full props to how it should have ended if Cook came of that first.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I loved how you animated it, and just saying we're not taking your idea, we're just acknowledging that it is indeed the one thing.
Okay.
So,
other than the fact that it took 3 movies to get that shrapnel removed.
yeah, well, technically 4, because remember, Avengers happens in
I'm
between.
not counting Avengers as an Iron Man movie. That's an ensemble piece.
Doesn't matter though; it's still in the
It's an
timeline.
ensemble piece.
All
No,
right.
but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Good
Anything
job
else?
to John Farva and everybody at Marvel. I'm pretty sure that was a Farva one, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Usually when he's in
If
the
I'm
movie,
pronouncing his name wrong, I apologize.
I'm pretty sure it's John Favreau.
Well,
I
I
just
can
said it
see
wrong, crap.
he directed the first one. I know that.
Yeah, but yeah,
And
good
he
job,
played
guys.
Happy in the third one.
You guys barely had something that really hurts the plot. Otherwise, the plot was actually decently put together. I mean, really, the only backlash we've got, like I said, was the Mandarin twist and the extremist being something like not the Iron Man suit that it was in the comics. So,
God.
yeah.
Oh, Shane Black
Oh, Shane
wrote
Black.
the screenplay. The person who made Predator.
Oh, cool.
Yep. All right, so there you go, Shane Black.
All right. Well,
And I'm pretty sure it was directed by Farva.
well, that was
Either way,
that
team
was
good teamwork,
definitely a
guys.
tougher one. That was I do like a challenge. Do
Yeah.
we have any idea what we're doing next?
Oh, Shane Black also directed. Okay, so that explains it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
writer and director is the same guy. No quibbling.
Indeed. But yeah, so do we have any idea what we're doing next for this, or
Yes, we do.
Or what are we doing next?
I'm not comfortable answering that question at this time. I'd like to plead the fifth.
Ooh, potentially a trial-based movie. Would it be My Cousin Vinny?
No, that movie was too good.
It was too good.
There is no plot hole in My Cousin Vinny, period.
You know, that's actually used by law students to learn
Exactly.
how to... That's awesome.
To show how court proceedings should go. Anyway, but no, it's not going to be a court-based movie. I'm really pleading the fifth because, like I said, I love making it a surprise. And now that we're done with the Iron Man movies, the next week's show, shock and awe. I don't want them to see it coming.
All right, as long as that...
In the words of the Mandarin, you will never see me coming.
As long as it's not Prometheus, we're good. Please don't say we have to do that movie with Alien franchise.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
really?
I consider that a part of the Alien franchise.
You really want to do that?
And they're
one?
doing another one
That
to
one's
show that it
just
truly
so
is.
horrible, though.
Whoa. I thought it was quite good.
Oh boy! All
I
right.
enjoyed that, but I love David the Robot. I'm a Michael Fassbender fan, dude.
All right, fine. If we do Aliens, we'll do Prometheus too. I'm
All right.
sorry,
so,
guys.
And
I
eventually
tried.
we will be getting into the Nick Cage catalog. So,
Your favorite actor of all time.
well, yeah, but I'm gonna be doing his crappy movies, the ones where he dies.
Oh yeah. Well, except Kick-Ass. Even you admit that was a good one.
Yeah, that's the only time Nicolas Cage could ever get away with dying.
All right.
Well,
wait,
no,
Paul.
I mean, I've said this theory. I'll say it again. I'll say it on this very web show
Let's
just
go
so
ahead,
people
set it out there.
understand.
Yeah.
A Nicolas Cage movie can be judged on its quality on whether or not he dies at the end.
Or during the movie, yeah.
Yeah, at some point, if he dies in that movie, it's crap.
Well, how was the movie
Well, I mean-
Driven with him?
Driven?
Yeah, when he came out of hell. He was
Oh,
technically dead.
Drive Angry.
It was a Drive Angry. Sorry, yeah.
He didn't die at the end. He died at the beginning.
All right. Okay. All right.
Actually, he was dead before the movie even started.
Exactly. That's
But
why
you
I
have to
was-
admit, that was a good movie.
It was still a fun movie.
There you
to
go.
watch. Actually, I read that they're watching like Shoot 'em Up, enjoying.
Oh, yeah, that's a little too... I could see that being, packaged DVD.
That would be an awesome.
Shoot 'em up,
package
Drive
DVD.
Angry? Yeah, I'd watch that.
All right.
day.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to this week's podcast.
Once again, hit us up on Facebook, Movie Killers. Leave a comments on the YouTube pages.
Send
I don't know if
messages
there's a
on
way to
Sound-
contact us through SoundCloud.
There are. You can send messages.
Okay. contact us. Let us know what you would like, so that way we can do it for you. Otherwise, it's going to be me and him talking about whatever the heck we want to talk about.
But then again, that's why they tune in to listen to us.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's great. But wouldn't you rather hear us talk about something you want to hear more about?
If, like, the point is, you're right. If there's a movie you guys want to hear us try to do, or a franchise, by all means, send us a message, whether on any of those mediums.
Yep.
We'll listen. We'll try it out. Otherwise, we'll have something.
By the way, if you'd like an adjustment to the show that you think is reasonable, leave a message.
Yep.
We'll make a change. The only thing we're not going to change is how our voices sound or what type of mic we're using.
Yeah, well, hopefully my voice comes a little better this time. I know it's been a little quiet for a while.
Honestly, I'm digging the more bass. I mean, it's good.
All right.
It's got a good sound to it.
All right, well, anyways, guys, you have a good one. Thanks again. I'm Blake.
I'm Tom.
This has been Movie Killers.